Again, we are following Enoch's true calendar revealed to Benalim in the book of remembrance of Enoch. We have a playlist where we go into each holy day in the order they fall in every year. The name of that playlist is Enoch's True Calendar. In that series, we have an episode titled The Enochian Calendar, the beginning of the year. In that episode, we explain how the year is calibrated so that our year starts on equal day and equal night every year. So that our year has 364 days every year. And our Sabbath and holy days fall on the correct days every year. So that we can stay in step with our Father, Enoch said. After that episode, we were asked a very good question. Let me put that question on the screen. All right, let's read that.
Okay, Shalom, Peasy, and Ari. I wanted to talk about the different hemispheres and how they affect our understanding of the calendar. I stopped my studies when I discovered that the northern hemisphere experiences the spring equinox in March, while the southern hemisphere experiences its in September. This means that Israelites all over the world will never be in unison, as the equinox occurs at different times in different regions. It raises questions about how we align our observances unless we choose the equinox that coincides with the original Holy Land. However, that topic may have already been addressed in one of your videos. What are your thoughts?
Okay, that was a very good observation and question. Well, my response to the sister was that Yatzakad and Kava left Eden on the first day of the year. No matter where ones are in the world today, Yatzakad and Kava still left Eden on one particular day, right? And that day was considered New Year's Day for the earth. Let's get that scripture. We're going to go to the book of Remembrance of Enoch, chapter 9, verse 127. The book of Remembrance of Enoch, chapter 9, verse 127. Let's read that.
And they began to mark the day that Yatzakad and Kava left Eden as a holy day, and it was their foremost day of the year.
The foremost day of the year. If we go down to the footnotes, what does it say right there, Ari?
In this case, the word foremost means the first day of the year, or the day upon which the year is built, which is the spring equinox.
So, why did the people consider the New Year's Day a holy day? Let's finish that verse.
And it was for them a day of mercy, to celebrate the kindness of Motza, to go with them, to guide them in the way.
Because Motza came out of Eden with them to guide them in the way, to guide us in the way. Yatzakad and Kava also went back to Eden on that same day. Let's get that. We're staying in the book of Remembrance of Enoch. We're going to Badal, chapter 13, verse 22. That's Badal in the book of Remembrance of Enoch, chapter 13, verse 22. This is when Yatzakad and Kava was returning to Eden. Let's read that.
And Enoch said was sitting there, leaning up against the northernmost oak, and it was plain that they expected him to be there. And as they approached, they slowed down, and they went forward gently. And Enoch said arose to greet them, and he handed Kava a yellow rose, and they called him father. And they took his hands, and they walked up the hill and out of sight. And at that moment the sun was seen to show itself to those of the east. And it was the first day of the year. And the son of Enoch said was triumphant on that day, for his handiwork of his loving kindness returned to their father into Eden out of the temporal world, in the full purity of the holiness of Elder. And this occurred because of the ability of Motza the Lamb to forgive and to restore. And it was the fourth day of the week, because the fourth advocacy of our Redeemer was to join man with Enoch said through element.
Precept. We're going to stay in chapter chapter 13 of the book Remembrance of Enoch. But let's jump down to verse 62. Let's read that.
And Moses replied, Now then I say to you, beginning with the first day of the season of renewal,
which would be the spring of the northern hemisphere. This is when most of the Lamb is explaining the calendar to Enoch. Let's keep reading.
And Moses replied, Now then I say to you, that beginning with the first day of the season of renewal, which you have named Kadashel, you shall mark the first day of the year. And there shall be 4 seasons, and a season shall have 13 weeks, and a week shall have 7 days, to mark the 7 days of creation. And the first day of the year shall fall on the 4th day of the week, because on that day of the week Yatzakad and Kavah passed through the oaks of Pathak to return to Eden.
So that proves that the new year is established because of what happened on that particular day, not because of the season. New Year's Day was the particular day Yatzakad and Kavah left and returned to Eden. So New Year's Day is the same day all over the world, no matter what that season is for you, me, or whoever. That precept gave us an understanding, right? I pray that it's clear for the sister who asked the question and whomever may have that same question.